So recently it was announced that an upgrade happened, and I think it's actually a pretty cool upgrade and maybe a significant one at that. The reason why, even though nothing I say is financial advice, is because Caffeine AI, basically, not that long ago, they made a post saying how Caffeine's app market just got an upgrade. So basically, supposedly, through this, subscribers can now publish apps for everyone to remix, and they say it's project by project, individuals can choose what goes public. So I think this stuff right here, why does it even matter? Again, nothing I say is financial advice. However, if we take a look at it, this I think is a good step in the right direction for something like Caffeine AI, because it's kind of like the crown jewel of something like Dfinity as of right now. It's something that they're really focused on as of, again, right now, and why not? It's a self-running apps platform. It could maybe help allow developers, or even just like an individual. Again, what it does is that it gives maybe the chance of individuals to maybe use AI to help build applications. We've seen video games built through Caffeine AI. We've seen, apps that track GPAs built through Caffeine AI. Again, we've seen a bunch of different things. So I do find this to be pretty cool. And again, I think this upgrade right here is going to maybe increase the adoption of something like Caffeine AI. It may not happen overnight. It may never happen at all, but it could maybe, in my opinion, because if I take a look at that right there, I just think it's pretty cool. If they make an upgrade to its app market that could maybe allow for more individuals to kind of tinker with it, to kind of use it, why not? I don't think it's such a bad thing. This is just personally my perspective, even though I am not telling anyone to do anything. However, people like to tell me, well, this didn't do much to the price of ICP. Well, yeah, okay, sure, I get that, but it's not really like meant to do that anyways, right? I mean, literally, if we take a look at that upgrade right there, it's meant for the long-term, I think, sustainability of the project, right? It's basically adding like a pretty cool feature, in my opinion. So why is that a bad thing? If anything, I think it's actually pretty cool. But yeah, besides that point though, ICP as of right now, I'm totally aware. It's around $2.50, so it didn't really do much since my last video. But here's the thing. Because at certain points in the past, we've seen people think of ICP at around $5, $8, $10. They think about it usually as kind of like a more, I guess, baseline when it comes to ICP. We've seen that at certain moments, right? Especially back in 2024 and 2025. We've seen kind of those moments where people think about $5 or like $8 or something like that to be more of a baseline when it comes to ICP. But here's the thing. As of right now, we're so low from the baseline to the point that if ICP never ever sees a hypothetical altcoin season, let's just say maybe it goes back to those levels. It's kind of like already somewhat maybe hypothetically a moment where I want to go to Chili's or Applebee's and just celebrate, maybe. Doesn't mean that it could happen, but here's the thing. ICP is around $2.50, right? Keep in mind, just back in November of 2025, it was nearly $8. If let's say ICP just for whatever reason starts to, kind of recover a little bit and just stayed around $5, again, we're around 2 times lower than that. I'm already going to Sizzler. That's the way you take a look at it. I mean, again, ICP, like traditionally, of course, $5 wouldn't have seemed like a good thing, but just because we've had such a massive pullback to the point that even $5, $8, $10, that's already now considered pretty impressive if ICP could even go back to that just because it's so low. That's the thing. And those were not altcoin seasons, by the way. Does anyone think that when ICP was like at $10, not that long ago, was that a hypothetical altcoin season? Did we see one in 2025? I don't think so. I don't think January of 2025 was a altcoin season by any means. ICP just goes back to like $5. Again, I'm just going to Sizzler at that point because we're around 2 times lower than that. That's how much ICP is at a pullback. Keep in mind, we saw ICP reach a new all-time low, right? Keep in mind, an all-time low. So supposedly, around 5 months ago, back in October, $1.98. We're as of right now around $2.50. So just imagine that. ICP is not even that far off from its all-time low. That's how much ICP has had a pullback. Again, it's kind of fascinating for me to see how a project like this, literally not that long ago, experienced a new all-time low. A new all-time low. Like, that's kind of ridiculous to think about, right? Because it's not like the internet computer became way worse or anything. If anything, it's kind of improving. Take a look at Dfinity, what they did with Caffeine AI, right? Take a look at the World Computer Day event in Switzerland. Not that long ago. It happened back in January of this year, where a lot of professors, entrepreneurs, and people who are working at massive enterprises did attend, right? Chain fusion, a lot of people kind of forgot about that, but I still think about it sometimes. I take a look at the Solana and ICP integration. So with all that, the sentiment as of right now is just not doing the best. But am I going to complain? The answer is no, because I'm still a fan of the project. As long as I'm still a fan, I just don't want to leave. And just because ICP is still around $2.50, maybe sure, if ICP goes back to its all-time low, it is what it is, right? I can't control it. But even with $2.50, even if I just dollar cost average here, we're still around 2 times lower than $5 though. That's the thing. Okay, maybe sure, ICP could go lower, but it's still around 2 times lower than $5. That's just the way you take a look at it. So it just kind of makes no sense for me to give up. But again, nonetheless, if there's still kind of updates going on when it comes to Caffeine AI, I don't think it's like a flop in a sense, because a lot of people like to tell me, oh, it's a flop, it failed and all this. But I just don't have that feeling. I don't have that emotion when it comes to Caffeine AI in a sense where I think it's a flop. Because if it really was like a flop, if it really was such a failure, I think that something like Dfinity could just easily give up on it, right? Or maybe not care about it anymore. Who knows, right? But I still see activity when it comes to Caffeine AI. And I still see activity when it comes to Dfinity. And I still see also activity when it comes to ICP, or should I say the internet computer. So why would I give up? It just kind of makes no sense for me, especially with ICP hypothetically being this low. Again, just because it's so low, just going back to its previous kind of baseline is already kind of impressive, actually, even if we don't see an altcoin season, just because we're so low. That's the way you take a look at it. I am not telling anyone to do anything, and personally for me, I can't do anything when it comes to ICP. Keep in mind, ICP has a market cap that is well over $1 billion, right? It's actually almost 1.5 billion. But I'm just saying, even if let's say someone with like 10,000 worth of ICP left or something, that's like a drop in the ocean when compared to the market cap when it comes to ICP. So I can't do anything about this, by the way, right? If I just exited ICP, it's not going to affect it in any way, in any significant way, I should say. If I did believe in it, it's not really going to change it either. It's like, imagine if let's say I believed in Bitcoin 10 years ago. I'm just one person. I can't do anything about this space. The journey happens with or without me, by the way, right? So sometimes I like to be a part of it as opposed to not, even though I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but I'm just holding in case. That's the way to take a look at it. Just holding. And dollar cost averaging once a month, that's it. But I'm not telling anyone to do anything. Again, I just want to clarify that because this is just my personal perspective. However, I'll be sure to make more updated videos when it comes to ICP, so hopefully I'll stay tuned for that. I just want to say thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.